Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. What I wanted to show you today were the seeds that I planted in my last video. I did a variety of tomatoes and peppers and some tomatillo seeds. But there's a problem. They're getting very leggy. And so I wanted to show you these and tell you what I'm going to do to fix that problem and what you can do to fix legginess in your tomato and pepper seedlings. So as you can see here on my tomatoes and tomatillos, they are all looking a little spindly. And this will happen due to the lack of light. They were in a bathroom that, while it received lots of heat and humidity, which is good for germination, did not have as much light as they needed to have. There are windows in that bathroom, but it's on a shady side of the house, so that didn't help. So what we're going to do to fix that, though, is we're going to take it inside to my garage. We're going to put it on heat mats in the garage, and then we're going to put a fluorescent light over top of it, a plant light. These are technically just shop lights. There's nothing really plant lighty about them. They're not specially made for that, but shop lights do a very good job of giving you enough light to grow your seedlings. Now, I'm not really concerned about this because tomatoes and peppers tend to be one of those plants that if you plant them deeply in the garden, they will develop roots all along the stem. When they develop those roots along the stem, that allows them to become more drought resistant and just a healthier plant overall because they've got more of a root system. Stronger root system means a stronger plant. So when I do plant them out, I will dig a deep hole and plant it all the way down with maybe the top 2 leaves of the tomato plant exposed above the ground. Take all the other leaves and everything off of the tomato and just bury it down as deep as I can. And doing that has always been great for me. You can do it horizontally if you want, but if you ever do companion planting around it, it may limit your space areas. You may accidentally plant on top of that tomato plant in some ways. It's probably not that big of a deal. If you're paying attention, you should be fine. So you can see here, we've got the heat mat in the garage. We've got the seedlings inside the flat with the humidity dome on top. Over here on the left-hand side, you've got a sensor that goes to the thermostat. The thermostat will keep it a relatively steady temperature as long as the temperatures outside are not extreme. But if the garage gets really cold, the heat mats just cannot keep up. So that's just something to keep in mind. If the temperature ever drops really bad, then these seedlings need to come back indoors for at least that period of time so I can take care of them. We'll have a better setup probably at our new house that we can work on, and we'll talk about setting all that up once we're there. So that's what I've done here, and we've got some pretty good germination as I showed you out there, but it's just so leggy, everything in there. We're still waiting on peppers to germinate on this side. We've got the tomatillos, lots of tomatoes happening. Tomatoes go very quick. The Rutgers tomatoes were germinating in less than 7 days, and the rest of them were following a couple more every day after that. The peppers generally take longer, so I always recommend giving them a lot of bottom heat if you can, putting them into a warm area, and we're starting to see some pepper germination now. It just isn't as fast as the tomatoes. So normally I would start my peppers probably 2 weeks before the tomatoes just because I know it takes them a little bit longer to get going. So I also wanted to show you this over here. This is a flat with some cuttings that were from my boxwoods and camellias. And the reason I brought them into the garage was back in December we had that extreme temperature drop, the 53-degree temperature drop overnight that really has done a ton of damage to the landscape plants all around us. And so what I've done here with these is I brought them indoors. I didn't have the heat mat activated. I just mainly brought them inside because this garage would protect them, keep their temperature up without encouraging growth to go. Now I'm at that point where I've got them on the same heat mat. We may end up getting some more germination. We may end up getting some better bottom heat on these, and they might improve rooting. I don't know. We'll see how that all goes. But I'm very glad I brought them indoors because the 3 cuttings that I had rooted have died. And that was all because they were in the greenhouse, and the greenhouse got too cold that night, and all 3 of them just got toasted. Out in the front, where our camellias actually are planted in the landscape, they have completely defoliated. So we've got to see where they're going to end up. I don't know. I think they're going to survive, but we'll just have to wait and see. We still have a couple more weeks till we're past all danger of cold and frost and stuff like that. So we'll see if they bounce back, and of course we'll let you know on that. But I'm very glad that I brought these in because I think I do have some rooted camellias right there. I'm not sure about that one, but I think this one right here is. The boxwoods in this area are starting to root if they haven't already. I've got a little bit of resistance on them. So we'll just keep up with them. This one's not rooted at all. It moves too much. We'll keep up with them and hopefully have some plants to plant outdoors here before too long. But not until we're done with the winter time. You never know when it can get cold again. So I hope this video is helpful to you, especially in regard to the leggy seedling problem. It's not that big of a deal. Just get better lighting on your seedlings and they will thrive. Get something closer to it, LED, shop lights, something to get better lighting on those seedlings. The closer it is, the better it will turn out to be for those plants. Secondly, plant deep or plant horizontally when you plant your tomatoes and pepper plants. Both of them will root all along the stem and make a much stronger plant in general when you do it that way. And it's also a problem solver for the legginess. So you kill two birds with one stone. So I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Growing the Home Garden.